Chapter 13. Status Story. Core need, respect. Core life value, failure versus success. Core emotion, admiration or pity. Core event, the big choice. Status Story answers the complex question, will the luminary agent be able to rise in social standing and achieve society's definition of success, or will they discover and embrace their personal definition of success? Status stories are about a luminary agent's quest to rise within their social group and what they're willing to do and sacrifice to achieve that. Status stories further explore the individual's relationship with two hierarchies: the power dominance hierarchy of haves and have-nots found in all societies, and the growth cognition hierarchy of levels of learning found within our own minds. The status story's protagonist is actively negotiating an internal struggle between achieving a higher status in their world's power dominance hierarchy and dedicating themselves exclusively to improving their skills and knowledge on the growth cognition hierarchy. How do you deliver the experience status story readers are looking for? The core need for respect, especially from outside oneself, arises when the inciting incident offers an opportunity or challenge related to the luminary agent's position in their arena. The core life value derived from the need for respect spans failure and success, and gradations between and beyond. The negative end of the spectrum goes beyond failure to quote-unquote selling out, and the positive end can include compromise on the way to success. The status genre includes 4 clear subgenres that depend on the luminary agent's strength of character and choices. The pathetic subgenre features a weak protagonist who attempts to achieve success but fails, as in Thomas Hardy's Tess of the Dubervilles. The tragic subgenre includes a hardworking protagonist whose mistakes doom them to failure, as in Theodore Dreiser's American Tragedy. The sentimental subgenre features a weak protagonist who nevertheless succeeds, as in Colum Tolbein's Brooklyn. And the popular admiration subgenre features a strong, principled protagonist who refuses compromise and succeeds, as in Peter Moss's Serpico or the film Gladiator. When the luminary agent stays true to their inner moral code and embraces their own definition of success, rather than that of external power structure, readers feel the core emotion of admiration. But if the luminary sells out or fails, we feel pity. The global crisis of status story brings us to the extreme edge of the failure-success spectrum as the luminary agent faces a dilemma about whether to risk failure while staying true to themselves or achieve sure success by choosing the power hierarchy. The risk of failure must be on the table in the core event, which is the big choice scene. The big choice, which is both the global climax and the climax of the ending payoff, integrates all 3 core essentials. The luminary agent's core need for respect defines the core life value of success at stake, which when attained produces the core emotion of admiration, and when not attained produces pity. Because status stories are an internal genre, the nature of the core event is flavored by pairing it with an external genre. A status story paired with performance will be different than a status story paired with crime. The universal takeaway or controlling idea of a status story is staying true to one's own values, whether or not this leads to social betterment, defines success. But if one sells out, exchanging their values for meaningless rank, praise, or acquisitions, the result is failure. Status stories show us that we are the sum of our choices, and that our choices are substantially dictated by the external circumstances we face, opportunities, challenges, and the presence or absence of a mentor. These stories can often be read as a call for everyone to find a strong mentor and heed their advice, as well as an invitation to become a strong mentor to others, providing the difference between a sentimental or tragic ending. The status genre speaks powerfully to writers and creative quote-unquote makers of all kinds. A writer who never publishes a story because nothing they produce is good enough is an example of a luminary agent who has committed too much to the growth cognition hierarchy. A writer who publishes first drafts without doing the necessary work to improve them and exploits technologies to profit from that work is an example of a luminary who veered too sharply toward the power dominance hierarchy. Find a mentor and find another way that leads to self-respect, the respect of others, and success. Summing up, in status stories, our need for respect from an external source allows us to identify with the luminary agent, and we respond to conflict on the failure-success spectrum with admiration when the luminary expresses their adherence to their own moral code in the core event of the big choice. Or we feel pity if they chose selling out and failure. During this event, the core need for respect is in jeopardy. The core emotion of admiration or pity reaches its height as a result of the luminary attaining their need, and the life value reaches an extreme. By setting up and delivering this scene in an innovative way, you meet the status story reader's expectations.